Hello friends, welcome back to Node.js tutorial. In this video we are going to discuss about how to create API with Node.js. So basically when you talk about Node.js, the maximum places you will use API, right? So we need to know how to work with Node.js API. So in this video we are going to discuss about the API and we'll discuss about the Express framework, right? So this is my blank folder I just created, and first of all we need to use the npm, that's the node package manager. So we'll initialize our node application by using npm init. Actually all the things we already discussed about in my Node.js tutorial playlist. You can find link from the description section, and also this video will add in that playlist also. So simply just initialize the application, and if you just enter this, it will create a node application, that is it will initialize the package.json. So just I am using the default section, so I am not going to waste much time. So the all things are done, and simply write yes, and it's create a package.json. So simply just go to the Visual Studio Code, you will find that, right? Every node application we need the package.json. So package.json is mainly responsible to manage all the packages. So for now this is the project information, and now if we install any package, so it will add in package.json, right? It will create a node modules, and it will create a package.json log file also, and all things I have already discussed, right? So now we need to install the MySQL. So how to install MySQL? Simply just write npm mysql. So if you check npmjs.com, so basically this is the npm package sites, and to install MySQL simply use npm install. So you can write detail npm install MySQL or npm install, both are same. So it will install MySQL into my application. And another thing, I will use the Express framework. So simply write npm express, and here just install the Express. So npm express, so very common things. And for development purpose I will use the nodemon, right? So I already discussed about how nodemon use and how nodemon npm. So simply right here, so npm nodemon. So basically this package are using only for development purpose, so we can simply use the dev dependency. So simply write npm install, and it will save as a dev dependency. So if you just go to the package.json, we can see there is a dependency section, that is the Express I installed just now, MySQL I installed just now. So if I just install nodemon with the dev dependency, so simply it will install into the dev dependency section, right? So let's install first, and it's installing and done, right? So you are getting the dev dependency, right? So basic things are installed. Now we need to create a API, so we'll use the postman. So let's click on this. It will take some time to load the postman. And now the thing is, here you can see in the package.json we have index.js. This is the main file. So let's create the file first, index.js, and here we'll do other things, right? So simply let's try to connect with MySQL. So simply let's create a constant variable and create MySQL equal to require MySQL. So I already installed, so we can use this, and create a connection object. So simply write constant con. So this will be the connection object, and here we will use MySQL dot create connection. So this is the method to create connection with the database. We need to use these things, and here it will take some things, some parameters like host name. So simply we are using in the locally, so simply use localhost. And there is user, that is the username of your database. So simply for me actually the username is root, I am writing a root, and simply write password. And here if I don't have any password, leave it blank. I have password, and I entered my password, and here the database name. I already created database, so we all know that how to create a database. And here my database name is node project. So simply just copy this node project, and here we can see there is space, so this should maybe create any problem. And here also created a students table. I will discuss on this later. So let's connect with the database first, and to connect simply we have a connection object, that is a con, and let's use the connect. So basically connect have one callback function, that is I'm simply creating an arrow function, and inside here simply check if any error. So simply just write if any error, and it will simply print the error, right? So simply write console log and just give a message connection not proper or something wrong, anything. So it's only up to you. So simply write else, will print the console log it's connected. So let's check whether my database connection is successfully working or not. Okay, connected. Okay, and let's run this application. So simply write nodemon and my file name index.js. So here we can see the connected, that means database connection is successfully done. Now the thing is, now we need to use the Express framework I already installed, and we need to create routing. So we'll create different route for different purpose, and we'll test that from the postman. So this is the API testing tool, right? And other things, so if I just want to create a separate file and want to create a connection, this will be better, because every time when we don't need, it will also load, and if you need, it will still load. Means I want to say I want a clean code. So in professionally, or when you create any application for connection related things or something, those are constant, we don't need to change every times. Keep it a separate file so that it will be clean files, and whenever it will require, just include that. So simply I'm just creating here another file, like I am setting the connection.js, connection.js, and all the things I just putting here. So simply just cut this and put it here, and here we know the module concept. So here I just exporting this object so that we can access this object from the index.js. So simply just write here module.exports and just export the connection, and we can get this connection from index.js. So how? Simply just write constant and create a connection and just require the file name. So actually my file name is connection.js, and these are in the same path. So simply just write in this way connection. Okay, and let's try to run this. So already we are using nodemon, that the reason is automated restarting and it's connected, right? That means these are absolutely fine and it's working. So we don't need to think about the connection related things. Okay, now we need Express. So simply let's require this Express into your application. So simply Express and equal to require Express. So Express is installed. Now I just want to create another variable constant app Express, so we can get all the Express frameworks functionalities from the app, through the app, right? So simply let's create a basic API. So before that, I just going to listen my server. So simply listen, LOSTN listen, and I want to set a port, suppose 4200, and I don't need this thing actually for testing purpose I created. So though I am not deleting this code, but still I am taking this, and simply here write console log, and let's try if anything printing or not. So simply write test. So now if I just check, so we are getting test, that means it's working. So all are done. Now let's create a routing. So the basic routings app, so app is using in Express, so that's the reason I am using app in every section, and the basic routing is get, so I am using this get, and also it will get a callback function like a request and a response. So simply write req short form, so we don't write to code maximum things, so simply write create a arrow function. So this is the arrow function, and let's try. So simply write console log, or simply just write response dot send, so res dot send, and here something write API, or simply write get API working. Okay, now we are using Nodemon, so just go to this port, actually 4200, so just go here localhost and write here 4200. We are getting API, get API working. So if we just check these same things into from postman, we will also get. So simply write a new http request, so simply just check this, click on send, and get API working. That means it's basic API and it's working, and we can see the result from the postman. Okay, now our motto is to find some result from this MySQL table, that is the students table. So how we can get access of these tables, right? Already we connected with the database. Now we need to write the query. So simply for database related things, we exported this connection, and we are using con for connection, and to create or to write any query, simply write con dot query, right? And here we need to pass our query. So here simply write select star from my table name. So what is my table name? Actually students. Select star from students, and the second parameter of this method is actually the callback function. This is actually response in error and the result. Okay, actually the error is if any error found, that time we can handle this. So simply write if error, then simply write res dot send, and simply write error or something, it's up to you, and else. So simply response dot result, right? So what is the result? Okay, and not result, actually response dot send. I'm going to pass the result from here. So simply just go to the postman again and click on send. I think it should work, right? So we are getting all the records. So if I check here, so simply just down these things, so we are getting these records, right? So all the things we are getting from the database. So this is basically the simple get API concept in Node.js with the Express framework. We are going to discuss about how to create the post API. So simply just go to the Visual Studio Code and create another API. So just create app dot post. Okay, and I am using the same URL, and it will work absolutely fine because the method is different. So in previous this was the get, and this time it is post. So when we just creating a response or calling the API, we are using the get method. Now we will create a post method, and this is the actually the post API, right? So we'll post some data into the application. So simply here in the previous, simply there is a callback function, that is a request and response. I am taking a short form, and this is the post API, right? And let's see the post API is working or not. So simply write console log, and here write post API working. So for every time if you check whether the API is working or not, it will be better, right? So simply just use the post and let's check. So now just go to the console. So here you can see the post API working. That means we are in this section. Okay, so these are cool. So now just go to the database. We have name, email, phone, and also we have ID. So ID is the auto increment field. So if we just go to the structure, we can see the ID is the primary key and it's auto increment field. So we don't need to concentrate about these things when we just going to simply insert anything, right? So we will concentrate on the name, email, and phone. So here we need to fill up these things. So we need to pass these things from the API testing tool, from the postman, right? So now just go to the Visual Studio Code and simply here just create a data. So right, I am going to create a static data for now. So simply just create a data. Obviously this should be a JSON type data, and to use any JSON type data into your Node application or in an Express framework, simply just write app.use and write express.json, and obviously JSON is a function, so we need to use in this way. This is the function, so your application can understand this, the response or request of all the things will be the JSON formatted, right? So simply just create this JSON array. We have a name, email, and phone. So simply write name, and for now I'm just writing a name, suppose Steve, and email like colon steve@email.com, and phone, and obviously the phone is something. So this is the random number. I just going to check whether if I just want to insert but statically how it's working. So now simply just going to write these things. So the query part is same, so I'm just copying from the previous, and here the query need to change. So here the query will be insert into the table name, that is the students, and we need to insert the data, right? So just use set and the question mark. Okay, and here we need to use the second option of this function as a data, and the last option is error and result, right? And if you just go into the postman again and let's send this, so let's see how it's working. So field count 0, affected rows is 1, and insert ID is 7. That means one record is inserted into my application of which ID is 7, and server status is 2, right? So now just go to the browser and go to the database, and here you can see there is a record that is up to 6, and now the insert ID is 7. So just refresh and let's check, a new record is inserted, right? Now here you can see we inserted this data statically. How we can insert? Through the postman. So this is the main reason why we want to learn this API. We will never use the static things, we will do all the things dynamically. So how we can do this? So simply just copy these things and just cut for now, and I will pass these things from the postman, right? So just click on the body, and this is the I want to pass the raw data with a JSON formatted. So JSON formatted, and simply just write this, right? So just have this thing, and here we need to write into the inverted comma. So this is the format actually postman takes in this way, and I'm just changing a name. Suppose here instead of Steve I want to add another, that is Ronit, and simply write the email is ronit@email.com, and this is the phone number. And if I just click on send, will it insert? No, because we are not accepting these things from here. So how we can accept? Basically all the request we are getting from the request parameter. So this is the req. So I already discussed about how request is actually working. So if you check my playlist from the beginning, you will get each and every concept of these things, right? So I already discussed about these things, and the links are provided in the description sections, right? So this is the request, and I want parameters. So all the body, right? So this is the data we are passing from the body, and we are getting all those things, that is request dot body. And now if I just going to click on send, will it insert? This should insert. So click on send and insert id 8, that means a new record inserted, right? So if you just go again and refresh, we are getting this record are inserted. So this is basically simple post request with Node and Express framework, right? So get API and post API is done. Now we have to update some data from this database. So how can I do this? Simply let's create another API. So write app dot put, okay, and still I am using the same URL, but it will not conflict. So why not conflict? Because the method is different, right? And still we are using the request response in this way. So basically this is the parameter we need, and we are using the arrow function. So basically arrow function introduced in the ECMAScript 2015, or you can say ECMAScript 6, right? And already I discussed about the ECMAScript tutorial. Now I am not going to discuss about that things, and here we just going to update some data through the postman. So this is my API testing tool, and I am going to create another URL, and that will be put. Not click on send because we have not done anything here. And let's check whether the put API is working or not. Simply here write put API working. So we are consoling this thing. So let's see in the terminal, and post API working. So we need to hit that URL actually. So put and click on send and go to the terminal. Yes, put API working. That means we are in this code, right? Now the basic purpose of put API is to update some data. So we will just create a temporary data, suppose constant data, and let's create some data with the array format, and here just pass some data. So how we need to pass? So there is some rule to pass some data. So simply let's create a query first. So con query. So how we get a con? Basically we are created connection.js, and con is my object to access this connection, and we are creating connection here using MySQL connection. We are getting or fetching data, right? Now the connection is done, and we need to write the query. So update. So we will do update operations here. So update students set name. So we will first do statically, and after that we will test with through the postman. So name equal to question mark. So what is the name? Basically name will come from here, right? So simply write Zenith. Okay, so this is the name, and this is the first occurrence of question marks. You get the first value from this data. Now this comma, and again just write email. So we have actually name, email and phone, and let's add another question mark, and this will appear from here. So simply write zenith@email.com, and again let's add comma and phone, again question mark, and that question mark will come from here. So random number something, right? So these are the update query, and finally we have a callback function. So simply just pass the data which actually set from above the line, and now just we use error and the response, right? So simply write response, and again this is a error function, and here simply we can handle this error by using this. So this is basically the error handling. So if anything error will get error, other will it will send the result. But the thing is, where we need to update means if I just execute these things, it will update in the all places. So I don't need these things. I need to update with a particular identification ID, means particular ID. So we need to use the where clause. So simply write where ID equal to something. So we'll pass from the here. So this is the fourth question mark, so it will get ID from here. So if I just want to update the data from 8, simply write 8. So it will take and update the data. So let's check whether it's working or not. So simply just go here and it's put and click on send, and it's not getting anything. So I think there may have some error. So let's just go to the terminal, waiting for the file change before starting. So throw error. Why error is the problem? So let's check. So here error. So the problem is we are using the result, the short form, and we are using these things here. So we can use the result here. So we'll getting the result and we are passing. So simply just go to the postman again and try to send, and I think this should be okay. So affected rows is 1 and server status 2, that means all are okay. It's 200 okay. So now if I just going to check whether the value is updated or not, so just go to the browser and let's check the 8. So refresh, we are getting these are updated. Okay, so that's simple. But in this way, in real life we never update, because when you update we need some type of parameter. We need to make it dynamic, means we need to pass the ID here. So to update the record from 8, we simply use we'll pass 8 from here, or if you want to update the record for 9, simply pass from here. So the thing is, how we can do this? Simply we are passing this ID from here, and in the same way we need to accept that ID also, right? And these are coming from the request. So we are requesting that things from the URL, so we'll get in this way. So request dot params dot ID. Okay, so we'll get the ID from here and we can update from here, right? So you can check there is the fourth and 1 2 3 4. Okay, so this will replace from here. So if I just write here Zenith 2 and let's run from the postman, and where is the ID? The ID is 8. So let's run this 8 and click on send, and it's affecting, and now let's check, it's updating. Another thing, so we are getting the ID from here but not data. How to pass data? I want to pass data from here. So simply how we can pass this? So simply just go body and raw section, and we will pass using the JSON format, right? Post section we are passing the data in this way, so we'll pass that data from here also, right? And suppose I want to change some data, suppose Ronith 2 or Ronith 2, and I want to update with the 8, right? So here we are passing that data, but we need to accept that data from here. So simply just go to the Visual Studio Code, and here, right, we are getting the request from the body section. So request dot body dot name. So we are getting the name, so that's in its name, and for email that will be the email, and for phone that will be the phone. So simply just email and phone. Okay, and right here phone. And if I just want to change something, so I just changing, and I want to update with the ID 8. So let's see once again, this is the Zenith, but I want to change with the Ronith 2 and click on send. Before that, let's check we saved or not, right? So click on send, and it's affected one rows. Insert id 0, that means no insertion, but server status is 2 and it's 200. Okay, so now just go here and let's see where value is updating. So this is basically the process how we can do the update operation using node MySQL, right? Now tell me what is your queries, or if you still have any queries about this video, please comment in a below comment section. So update operation is done. Now we need to use the delete operation, how delete operation is working, right? So already discussed about how we can use the get API, how to use the post API, and how to update data or put API. So we are using Express.js and we are using the JSON formatted data for API, and for testing purpose we are using the postman, right? And we created this routing with Express, and here I just going to create another routing, that is app.delete. So we'll going to learn about the delete API, and obviously it will take request and a response, and obviously this is the call function, right? And here we need to use the delete operation, right? So just like update, if you want to delete something, we need to pass the proper ID which I need to delete, right? So simply just pass the ID here, and we will pass the ID from the postman also. So just go here, and suppose I want to delete the record 8, we just passing this, and this time the method will be the delete, right? And let's build the logic. So simply just write the query first, and connection dot query, and here we need to use the delete query. So simply write delete from the table name, that is students. Okay, and where is the error? Actually we need to start with a semicolon, so simply write not semicolon, let us say invert comma, delete from students where id equal to the student id. So how it will get the student id? So let's close this. So let's check whether we are getting this id from the route or not. So let's check how we can get. So simply write console dot log, and we are getting the id from the request. So simply write request dot params dot id, right? And let's hit this and see whether we are getting or not. So there is 8. Okay, now if I just want to change, or if I just going to request through another id, that is 3, and let's see. So just go to the terminal, we are getting 3. That means id are getting from the route section. Okay, so now we need to write the query. So I'm taking this id with another variable. So simply write let id, sorry, you're right, let student id equal to request.parameter.id, and I need to pass that things from here. So just write in this way, and not here, actually we need to pass with this, right? So by using plus we can concatenate, and the thing is this the query, and we will pass the second parameter as a closure function, that is the array, sorry, that is the error and result, right? And inside here just create another arrow function, and just like previous, just copy here. Okay, so if anything error found in this route, it will throw the error. Otherwise its response is not, it will not throw error actually. Simply to throw the error we can write throw error, that means it will throw the error. Simply if I just write here all places, it will be good. Okay, so basically if I just do send, that means it will only send say the error but not getting the proper error message, so simply write error. Okay, so these are good. Now to delete, so all things are done. Now just go to the postman and I want to delete the ID from 3, and let's check. In the 3 there is amal@email.com, so click on send, and affected rows 1 and 200. Okay, so just go to the browser again and let's check 3 is deleted or not. Yes, 3 deleted. Now I need to delete, suppose I want to delete 8 and click on send, it's also deleted. So just go to database and refresh, deleted. So this is very easy, and this is the delete API of Node.js using Express framework with the help of MySQL. Hope you will like this video. Still, if you have any queries about this video with the full API tutorial, please comment in a below comment section. So in our upcoming video we are going to learn about some authentication with Node.js, so how we can create a login logout, or how we can use the token to validate any user, right? So we'll go in some advanced topic with a Node application, right? So please like and subscribe this channel, and I will recommend you please see the full tutorial from the beginning, and that will help for the upcoming video. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good day.